In today's video, I am going to be showing you some fantastic drills that you could run with youth basketball teams. These are all drills that will help your team move with and without the basketball and what to look for while on offense. Let's get down and let's check out these amazing basketball drills. So first we're going to start with two lines, one at the point and one at the wing. We're going to also have the coach guarding the line with the ball so that he can try and contest that pass. That way we can essentially get these players, or our players, to be able to make fake passes so that then they can get those passes through. Once this player passes to that line, we're going to then have him cut to the rim. This is going to be a quick pass back to player 1 so that he can finish with the layup. Meanwhile, player 2 is going to be following his pass to get that rebound, and then they're going to be switching line. However, while that drill may be good at the beginning, we need to stack this drill, which means that we need to teach our team how to move off ball. So what we're going to have is player 3 do a quick V-cut down, and of course player 4 is going to then pass player 3 that ball, and he can then of course again attack that rim to finish with that layup. Again, same thing, player 3 follows that pass, and of course they switch line. Now we want to stack this again. However, now when we make this pass, instead we're going to have player 4 set that screen for player 1. Player 1 is going to use that screen, player 4 is going to roll off of that screen, and we're going to have player 1 pass the ball to player 4 for that layup. Again, following his pass so that he can get that rebound, and of course switching lines once again. Now we want to stack this again. Now this time we're going to be having the defense or the coach on this line, and what we're going to have is again a V-cut to try to create separation between the player and the coach, and we're going to have a pass over to player 5. At this time we're going to then have player 2 set a screen for player 5, and now this is going to be a screen and roll, but player 5 needs to read what the coach is doing. So the coach can do one of three things. Number one, he can go underneath that screen, and if he goes underneath that screen, then we want player 2 to re-screen on the opposite side, and player 5 to attack the basket on this side, and player 2 to roll towards the middle of the key. If, however, the coach goes over top of the screen, we want player 5 to cut in quickly to the high post and player 2 to roll down the side of the key so that now he can make that pass to player 2 for that layup. And the third option is the coach could cut off that screen, basically jamming it so that he is now not allowing player 5 to use that screen. And then what we want to see is player 2 to cut to the high post and player 5 to attack the basket and to do a quick pass to player 2 for that shot. This is how we can teach our team how to use screens. So there's three different outcomes as to what happens with a screen. You can have a defender jam it so that you can't use it, in which case you then deny that screen and attack the basket. And then the second option is, of course, to see if your defender is following you around that screen, and if he's following you around that screen, you need to cut in quick so that you can actually use that screen and keep that defender behind you. Meanwhile, if he goes underneath that screen, you could pop for the shot, but in this drill we're trying to finish with the layup or that mid-range shot for that passer, in which case then you just want to re-screen and of course use that screen once again so that now you can again attack that basket and hope that you can get a shot. Now these are fantastic drills right here, but there's going to be even more now that you're going to absolutely love. Now in this drill we're going to have three lines. We're going to have one in the corner, one on the wing, and one near the point. And what we are going to have is player 5 setting a screen down for the first player in this line. The coach is going to be here, and the coach again is going to be having three different options. However, at first we just want to set that screen. Let's say we're coaching younger players at first. We're going to have that screen set. Player 4 is then going to use that screen, attack that basket. Player 2 is going to pass player 4 that ball, and of course he's going to then finish with a layup. Now after that layup is finished, he's going to go in the back of that line. This player is going to go in the back of this line, and this player is going to go in the back of that line. However, you can stack this drill by giving the coach three different options. The first option is, of course, jamming that screen so that player 4 is unable to use that screen, in which case he needs to cut baseline for that pass for that layup. Option 2 is player 5 sets that screen, player 4 uses that screen, but the coach goes underneath the screen instead of over top, in which case that creates this much distance, in which case player 4 wants to then pop for that 3-point shot, or mid-range shot depending on the age. And of course, the third option is if player 5 sets that screen, player 4 uses that screen, but the coach goes over top. When the coach goes over top, player 4 then needs to cut in towards the basket, and of course player 2 is going to make that pass for player 4 to be able to hit that layup. In fact, you could also add a fourth line to this drill, being essentially the defense line, in which case then player 5 would pop out to play defense, player 5 blue would then set that screen on 5 red, and of course player 5 red would make the decision here. Would he jam? Will he go over top? Or will he go underneath that screen? Now we are teaching not just the offensive side of how to use a screen, but also how to defend a screen, because now he has to understand, hey, if I'm cutting off that screen, I need to be able to recover quickly so that I cannot, or at least disallow that player from hitting or even getting that layup at all. Now, by having these two drills, you're going to be really set up well if you're running an offense that uses screens. Here in North America, we have a lot of offenses that use screens, and we can use them at pretty much any age. There is no rules, but I understand that there are rules over in Europe where younger players are not allowed to set screens, which does confuse me quite a bit. However, if you are in part of the world that is not allowed to use screens, or even if you want to really work on your team's movement off ball, we can run this drill as well. We're going to have a line that is near the point, and we're going to have a line that is on the wing. And we're going to have this pass made by player 2. He's going to cut towards the paint. He's going to post up for 1 to 2 seconds, and then he's going to pop out. Player 5 then is going to pass that ball back to player 2, and player 5 is going to then attack the basket, where player 2 will pass him that ball so that player 5 can get that layup. Now player 2 is going to get that rebound. He's going to then pass to the next player in line over on that side, and they're obviously going to switch lines. Now this drill, you could again add a defender too. Personally, I would add a coach as a defender. That's just myself personally. And how we would run this is, of course, same thing, pass over to player 1, cut down, post up, pop out, and then when that pass gets to player 3, the coach is going to try and favor one side over the other so that we can then have player 1 try to fight essentially the coach to get position on driving towards the basket. Remember, this is a contact sport, and because of that, we need to be able to teach our team how to fight for position, how to use our body, footwork, and of course angles to be able to get to that rim. Obviously, pass that ball for that layup. I hope that these drills help your team win more games. If they do, hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys again next time.